What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and this is a pretty big deal going on. So if you're unfamiliar, latest news as of today is the governor of Florida is actually saying, yo, we don't want no CBDCs. Get the heck out, Joe Biden. So let's just have a look at this and kind of talk about it. So Governor Ron DeSantis announces legislation to protect Floridans from a federal-controlled central bank digital currency and surveillance state. So the CBDCs. So what's going on here, obviously, is we've been hearing about CBDCs. There's a few countries now that actually have them implemented within their country and testing phases and so on. But that's exactly what it is. The ability to limit anybody to using it. And it's going to become, the next state of digital currency, and they can control everybody. And it's pretty much going to have your face, digital fingerprint, everything stamped right to it. And the government will have control over you 100% with this thing. So it's a bad thing. And technically, if you think about it, I don't know if anyone's ever read the Bible or anything, but in the end of times, it actually predicts the ability of not able to buy and sell and stuff. And this is pretty much exactly what that is. Now, not to get kind of religious on you guys. Everyone has their own type of religion, but things are not looking too hot in the world right now. Well, let's see what's going on in Florida. So today, Governor Ron DeSantis announced comprehensive legislation to protect Floridans from the Biden administration's weaponization of the financial sector through a central bank digital currency, CBDC. The legislative proposal protects consumers and businesses from a federal-controlled CBDC by expressing prohibiting the use of a federal adopted CBDC as money within Florida's Uniform Commercial Code, instituting protections against the central global currency by prohibiting any CBDC issued by a foreign reserve or foreign sanctioned central bank, calling on like-minded mindset states to join Florida in adopting similar prohibitions within their respective commercial code to fight back against this concept nationwide. Now, that's a good thing. This is a huge stance. Hopefully every single state does adopt this and pretty much pulls the power away from the big powers that be. That's going to be a very tough thing to do, but this is just straight up bad. We do not want this, especially as people. Now, I am from Canada. Alberta's kind of doing something like this. They're releasing some legislation, or they already did. I don't know the full background story on it, but pretty much anything the Fed says and they think is better for Alberta can pretty much say, hey, nope, not happening. Thank you for trying, for giving us your 2 cents on the situation, but we're not going to follow. Anyway, that's kind of what's going on there. And I think that's a good stand here for even people in Canada, because as this adoption kind of emerges with the cryptocurrencies and so on, CBDCs is not what we want, no matter how much the news is telling you do. The Biden administration's efforts to inject the CBDC currency is about surveillance and control, said Governor DeSantis. Today's announcement will protect Florida customers and businesses from the reckless adoption of a centralized digital dollar, which will stifle innovation and promote government-sanctioned surveillance. Florida will not side with economic central planners. We will not adapt policies that threaten personal economic freedom and securities. I know, we have Bitcoin. That's what it's for. We got this already. Governor DeSantis is ahead of the curve when it comes to protecting individual rights. A central bank digital currency is the cornerstone of a federal government that could track each and every transaction that happens in the world. Now, technically, you can do that with your normal banking, Interact and everything. Obviously, cash, you can't do that. But fiat, cash, all that stuff, the value is just coming down. Inflation goes up, and your dollar is just worth less and less all the time. It's not a great currency at this point in time anymore. There would be no privacy, and if there is no privacy, there are no rights. In the same way Florida is fighting back against the IRS, we need to fight back against this program. It's how we protect freedom, liberty, and prosperity. Now, this proposal continues the strong track record of Governor DeSantis pushing back on an overreaching federal government, said Foundation for Government Accountability CEO Taryn Bragdon. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but That's what we're rolling with. Our money says, in God we trust. The central bank digital currency changes that to, in government we trust. That's wrong, and I am grateful for the governor's continued pushback of an out-of-control BC bureaucracy. A federal-controlled digital bank currency is the most recent way the elites are attempting to backdoor woke ideology from environmental, social, and governance (ESG) into the United States financial system, threatening individual privacy and economic freedom. We know privacy, data, all this stuff, it sells. Now, privacy doesn't go into there because private is private, but Google, all the top main things out there, Facebook, everybody, they make all their money off stealing and selling your data. Data is huge in the world because everyone wants to know what everybody is doing, and the more they know about everyone, the more they can control everyone. Additionally, a federal sanctioned CBDC as proposed by the Biden administration would diminish the role of community banks and credit unions in our financial system, as CBDC currency would be a direct liability of the federal government rather than a chartered financial institution, shrinking market lending power. Today's announcement builds on a series of actions taken by the governor to prevent the proliferation of woke ideology into the financial sector and American daily living, and the Biden administration's continued efforts to promote a central control state, including leading an alliance of 18 states to fight against Biden's ESG financial fraud. So there you go, guys. This is actually pretty big news, and this is something more and more states, I feel, really need to adopt. Now, I am up in Canada. I'm not in the States. So, you're probably just like, oh, why is a Canadian talking about the States? But this is a big deal. Everything revolves around everything here and does happen elsewhere once it does start being seen how it works in other places. So it's going to be a push out worldwide for these things. And obviously, as people, we don't want this, and we really got to push to fight against it. Anyway, I thought this was something very interesting we should take a look at and kind of at least see what's going on here. Now, because this is being pushed back, that just lets us know how close we really are to actually having this in North America. It's right around the corner, so be ready for it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.